Corruption. It signifies decay, dishonesty, and the erosion of trust. The Bible addresses corruption head-on, exposing it as a destructive force. At its core, corruption is a spiritual issue. It's a turning away from God's principles of righteousness, justice, and truth. Think about the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Their act of disobedience was an act of corruption, bringing sin and its consequences into the world. The Bible doesn't mince words when it comes to corruption. It speaks clearly and firmly against it. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 1 tells us, "The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find his favor." This verse emphasizes the importance of honesty and integrity in all our dealings. God is a God of justice, fairness, and truth. He desires that we reflect these qualities in our lives. When we engage in corruption, we're violating God's very nature. We are called to live in a way that honors him and upholds his principles. Proverbs chapter 15 verse 27 says, "The greedy bring ruin to their households, but the one who hates bribes will live." This verse warns us of the destructive power of greed and the blessings of living a life of integrity. Think about the story of Achan in the book of Joshua. His act of greed and dishonesty led to severe consequences for himself and his community. Achan's act of greed had devastating consequences, reminding us that corruption is never a victimless crime. It affects not just the individual, but also their family and community. Let us strive to live with honesty and integrity, reflecting God's nature in all we do. The consequences of corruption are far-reaching and devastating. On a personal level, corruption erodes our integrity, leaving us spiritually bankrupt. It destroys our relationships and breeds mistrust. Corruption eats away at the very fabric of society, undermining justice and fueling social unrest. The Bible offers numerous examples of the devastating consequences of corruption. The book of Judges paints a bleak picture of a nation spiraling into chaos due to widespread corruption. These stories serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that corruption can destroy entire nations. Justice, God's antidote to corruption. In a world riddled with corruption, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But the Bible offers a message of hope. It reminds us that God is a God of justice, actively working to redeem his creation. Combating corruption starts with personal transformation and societal change. It means rejecting dishonesty and speaking up against injustice. We also need to work towards systemic change, promoting ethical leadership and accountability. Integrity starts in your heart. The fight against corruption begins in the heart of every individual. It's a personal battle that each of us must face daily. It's about making a conscious choice to live a life of integrity. Every decision we make, no matter how small, reflects our commitment to honesty and moral principles. The Bible provides clear guidelines for living a life of integrity. It serves as a moral compass, guiding us through the complexities of life. Micah chapter 6 verse 8 tells us to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. This verse encapsulates the essence of a righteous life. These words call us to live lives characterized by justice, compassion, and humility. They remind us that our actions should reflect our faith and values. It's not always easy to live by these principles. We often face challenges and temptations that test our resolve. But true fulfillment comes from living a life marked by integrity, generosity, and love. When we align our actions with our values, we not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire those around us. Hope for a brighter future. As the sun rises, it brings with it a new day filled with endless possibilities and renewed hope. The fight against corruption can feel like an uphill battle, but we must never give up hope. Each step we take, no matter how difficult, brings us closer to a world where justice prevails. The Bible reminds us that God is at work, bringing justice and righteousness. It is a source of strength and guidance, illuminating our path even in the darkest times. Our actions, no matter how small, can make a difference. When we come together as a community, our collective efforts can create ripples of positive change. By choosing to live with integrity and speaking out against injustice, we become part of God's redemptive plan. Our voices and actions contribute to a larger movement towards a just and compassionate society. The Bible ends with a powerful image of a new heaven and a new earth where corruption will be no more. This vision inspires us to work towards a future where peace and righteousness reign. Let us live lives that reflect God's heart for justice, compassion, and truth. Together we can build a brighter future, one that mirrors the divine vision of love and unity for all humanity.